Hi all, Shannon here. Thanks for checking out my video. Be sure to like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. But what I wanted to show you today that I'm doing, I'm finally at that process where I can feel like I'm going forward instead of backwards on Mildred. I've got everything gutted. She's all cleaned out. Fortunately, my freshwater tank is good, so I'm leaving it. My belly pan on 99% of my on Mildred is good, so I get to leave it. I just had to take out the back end where you can see the ground back there. So I've got it all good. I've got a welder coming out probably in the next week or two that is going to take care of redoing the back end, but he told me all of my metal looks good, which is great. There's just a little, the little surface rust from being almost 50 years old, so she's doing really good. So he told me I could go ahead and start painting and get ready there, and just we can work around what he needs to weld. Basically, we're just rebuilding the pan or the supports that hold the black water tank that I've converted to a gray water tank, which you can check out in another video. I will put that up there. And then also he's building me a frame for the second gray water tank that I'm going to put in that'll get me into the capacity that I need to have, which will go next to the freshwater tank. So anyway, what I wanted to show you today, long story short, is what I'm starting the process of treating the frame as it is. I got it all cleaned up, scrubbed, wire brushed, all that kind of good stuff to get off any rust or flaking paint or anything like that. And probably not the sexiest way to do it, but pretty much just hosed everything down. Brought the hose in here, aimed at places that I knew it would drain out, and just literally hosed down the inside of Mildred. So got it all nice and dust free, let it dry overnight, left the windows open. Fortunately, I've got about 4 or 5 days of no rain right now, so left the windows open, got everything good and dry. So let me show you. So the frame is kind of good. Looking good there, but you can see kind of where the rust level is, or the color and all of that is at this point. And what I've used, or what I'm using is, so I worked on boats, a small luxury cruise liner for about 5 years, and deckhands, their primary job is to keep the boat from sinking, and the engineers as well. So they do a lot of rust prevention. It's pretty much a weekly thing. They go around with a little container of stuff and a paintbrush, and you constantly see them painting different spots to keep rust at bay. And with my love-hate relationship for Facebook, one thing it has done is kept me in contact with all of the engineers that work on these boats that I've gotten to be friends with over the years. So of course I get to reach out and chat with them about what's the best to use, and talk about electrical and plumbing and rust prevention and correction. So one of the guys told me that the best thing that he loves, and some of y'all may have heard about this stuff, I had not. They actually used a different product on the last boat I was on. So, and let's face it, Airstreams or RVs are basically boats that don't float. So a lot of the same systems and stuff. So anyway, so he told me to use the stuff called corroseal. So this is what this looks like. This is corroseal. I will put a link in the description so that you can get access to it. It will, of course, be an Amazon affiliated, but doesn't cost you any more. And if you go to the website for corroseal to purchase it, it will just send you to the exact same page on Amazon. So I'll put a link in there. Feel free to use it or not, whichever's fine with me. So I'm going to do that. So I've applied that to the back end. I thought this was a good time to do the video, since I painted myself into a corner and had to crawl out the little water heater hole back there. But anyway, I'm just using a little foam brush. One of these made it to about 1/4 of the trailer, so get lots. I've only got 3, which means I'm probably going to have to go into town and get another couple of them. If you're lucky enough to be on a nice concrete surface or something, bonus for you, I get to crawl around in the leaves because I do not have a concrete surface. Next Airstream will definitely be done in a warehouse or in a covered situation, because I plan to do many, many more. So, so it's just as applied, super easy. You just, you know, brush it on. As you see, it's going to come out kind of, whoops, let me make sure I'm aiming at the right thing. It's going to come out milky when it goes on. It tells you to make sure you got a nice clean surface. It goes on like this. It looks like glue going on, and it smells like Elmer's glue. So, of course, be well ventilated, but it doesn't stink, which is nice. And what will happen is everything that is rust will turn black. It converts it back to steel, which is really pretty cool. And anything, so if you're doing it on a painted surface, it just dries clear. So if you've got rust on a white surface, everything that was white will stay white. Everything that was rust will turn black, and then, of course, you can paint those out. I'm going to pause the video, and then I will take you back to the back end and show you how it looks once it's once it has dried. Sorry about the reflection on the glasses there, but I'll give you a quick peek at that too. So just one sec. Okay, so as you can see, this is the part that I have already painted. As you can see, most of it is, the frame itself was already black, but it has turned black where it has dried and needed to, which is great. So you know exactly where it is that needs, that, you know, that was rusted. If it turns brown, it says that's a wrong chemical reaction, so you need to go and clean it again and start over. If it turns gray, then just apply a second coat, if I'm remembering all of that correctly. But as you can see, it works out great. I'll cover this with a black, I've got a professional grade Rust-Oleum paint that I'm going to use. My next Airstream, I will do this with so you can see here, it was a little bit silver, didn't have any rust on it, so it just stayed silver. So that kind of shows you what I'm talking about there. But I will do this with a Rust-Oleum, and the next one I do Airstream, I will be in a different setup. But you know, you learn from your first ones, and I will have a probably do a shell off situation, because needless to say, that will be a lot easier to paint. So thanks for watching. I will show you the next step after it's been painted. The parts that were they had originally painted out to look like aluminum, I haven't decided yet if I'm going to paint those out to look aluminum. I kind of like the black accent, so I may paint the tongue and everything black, since I'm not going, you know, original Airstream here. So I'm still kind of playing with that. I don't know. I may take some creative license on that one. Anyway, have a great day, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you very much.